Last one is the nose. Okay. The nose, the nose, the nose. Something again we don't think about. Subhanallah. We do not think about. So I'm going to keep it really simple. Again, each of these topics I could talk about for years. Subhanallah. Imagine, like, by the grace of Allah, Allah has allowed me to be in this holistic field since I was about 10, I would say. That's when I really started to learn, not just from my mum, but the people around me who taught me about pesticides and GMO. I was 10 years old when they were giving me this information. So you're talking about really like 36 years, alhamdulillah. So imagine I'm trying to squash in just a couple of gems for you now, and make it easy because I want you to start benefiting straight away, inshallah. Okay, so nose. Do you know that you can use black seeds crushed up, mixed with olive oil, put on the side of your nose for healing? Subhanallah. So much healing comes from the nose. Now you will see even in the UK, right? The queens and stuff like that, stuff they used to use this snuff stuff, you know. Unfortunately, there's a lot of harm, remember, I say, that can go, that people sniff, but there's a lot of healing, and we don't definitely use this. The only thing that I see people using the noses for is if they have allergies, like hay fever or animal allergies or dust allergies, right? And then I see them squirting things up their nose. But other than that, no. And the nose is actually, as well as the gums, it's actually a very quick and fast way of bringing healing into the system. And this is why, unfortunately, you'll see, astaghfirullah, but drug addicts, they quickly do this because it just gets in their system so quick. Or you'll see them and they'll put someone here and then they'll rub it into their gums. Okay. But this is something that a lot of people don't even know. So I see people making the mistake of, with black seeds, like just sprinkling it on some food and thinking that they're going to get the benefit. Wrong. Because the shell is so hard that it will just literally pass through the system. And I've always told people, crush your seeds. Subhanallah, crush them so that you're breaking up the molecules and all of that kind of stuff, and then you're ingesting the nutrients. So you must crush it. But I wanted to specifically talk about using crushed black seeds in the side of your nose, because I think that's something that not a lot of people do or think about doing. I want to come back to the power of breathing. Okay, but for now, just black seed we can use in the nose, right? The next thing is plants, subhanallah. And when I was looking in the Quran, and I'm looking also in this book, alhamdulillah, again, it was a lovely hadith, and I thought I'm going to put this in. It just says, whoever is offered rayhan, let him not to reject it, for it is light to carry and it has a pleasant smell. And I think the reason why I wanted to put this one in is because we underestimate all the beautiful ni'mas that Allah gives us, all the blessings that Allah gives us. And we'll look at flowers and we'll think they're so pretty, and we'll look at certain leaves and things and say that, oh, they're so lovely. But there are some leaves that you can take and you can crush them, and then the smell that comes out is so beautiful. Even take, for instance, the lavender, right? If you take the lavender and you crush the flower and you smell it, doesn't it bring about healing? Doesn't it bring about, this calmness? And we know that they use lavender to put people to bed. SubhanAllah, they even put now, I think, lavender in some type of tea and things like that, right? So we know the rose, and everybody talks about the rose and the healing qualities of the rose because its smell is so strong as well, mashallah. But also, there's herbs. Now, in this book, there's a little bit of a dispute or whether or not it's this one plant and if it's this plant. But what you get out of it is that they are both sweet smelling, subhanAllah. So whether or not these grow in this specific part of the world or that specific part of the world, Islam came for mankind, and Allah has dropped his gems everywhere. Subhanallah. So sweet smelling smells definitely have a medicinal healing property. And this is something, for instance, for me, like I have this here. This is an obus oil. It's just like kind of eucalyptus, right? And you can use this to, whether or not you're having like a steam, you put a few drops in there. It's very expensive these days, though, subhanAllah, right? Or you directly use it and to rub and you massage, subhanAllah. But this is something that I grew up on. And for me, I like to keep this pathway as clean as possible. And I'll get to that and the reason why in a minute when I round this all up. Okay, because breathing is one of the most important functions that we need. Whenever I start a health journey with everyone, especially the kids, I'll say to them, what can't we go without? And they'll say, food, miss, water, miss. And I'll say, no, it's not. You can go days without food and days without water. What is it? And then I'll go, okay, what about if I did this? And I put my hand over your nose and your mouth and I took away your air. What would happen? You literally could die within a few seconds, subhanAllah, So when we understand the importance of oxygen, not just for survival, but even for the functions. Like you see, unfortunately, a lot of babies who are deprived oxygen early, they end up getting brain damage. A'udhu billah. This is why in the hospitals now, they always have that mask there for the babies because, they know how important it is to get oxygen into their bodies. And they don't resuscitate with the carbon dioxide going out. They give pure oxygen, subhanAllah. Over the years, when I've treated people with cancers or even mental depressions, I will often give them things, whether it's supplements or techniques to increase their oxygen levels in their body. And there's a little cute device that you can get, which is a machine that you put on your fingers. I'm sure you've seen it if you've had a baby or you've been to the hospital before, and they put it on your finger and it can read how much percentage of oxygen that you have in your body. But breathing is something that, because we just do it spontaneously, we tend to not really pay any attention. But when you look at certain cultures, especially the ancient Chinese cultures and the martial arts, right, they will spend so much time teaching the ways of breathing because they understand it is one of the most powerful things for the body. And they'll call it qi, well, not breathing qi, but energy qi, but they will get it mainly from breathing, subhanAllah. So I want to just combine all of these, right? I want to help you to understand how we can take an important act, as in breathing, right? Combined it with something that is sweet smelling, okay? And then mix it with a bit of black seeds. What is that going to do for our healing modalities? So I'll give you an example. We can crush five little black seeds. They're only tiny, right? Crush them, completely crush them. Okay. Mix it with olive oil and then just add, whatever your favorite smell is, whether or not you're going to put a bit of lavender in or crush a little bit of this, crush whatever smells you're going to have, a little bit of rose petals, but you're going to infuse the oil, right? The olive oil, because olive oil, again, is another important sunnah, subhanAllah, that I love. And that we try to use as much as possible, not cooking and heating it, applying it, rubbing it to the skin or drizzling it on your salads, etc., or using it as something that can clean the liver out, has so many benefits, alhamdulillah. Okay, especially when you mix it with lemon. So imagine combining all of these three, right? Now, let me just practically tell you, blow your nose out so there's no mucus, right? Because for those of you who don't understand mucus is like a spider web. It catches germs and it wraps it up in there and then achoo, and then gone, finished, right? And that's the way of expelling the body. Remember I told you about cleaning. The body always wants to be clean. So our noses are ways that actually get the trapped germs from the mucus out. So we've cleaned our nose, we've washed our nose. Look at wudu. We have to put the water up our noses and actually blow it out. So we are told to keep this area clean. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Okay. And then we're going to make a mixture. Okay, something smelling nice, but we're going to put the black seeds there. And then we're just going to, and please, I'm not picking my nose, my darling sisters, right? But we're just going to line it at the side here, and then the beginning, the part where there's that little gristly bit, right? And we're just going to line it there, and then slowly, okay, slowly, but you've got to grind it up properly, by the way. You don't want any lumps. It needs to be really powdered form. Okay, and then you're going to slowly breathe in and out. Okay, really slowly breathe in and out. Allow the black seeds to stay, they don't go fast like this, because then they'll just rush up. So allow them to stay down here, but with the oil and the flower's scent, you know, it's going to go up, and it's going to help you to clean this path, right? So your nose is connected, okay, to your throat and your ears, right? So again, think about your throat. Your throat is very important, because if you cut off that pipe, you know, and you choke, you know, again, you can suffocate, okay? So all of this area coming down to fill up your lungs with this oxygen, and then the oxygen carries off everything around your system, okay? So we need to keep these areas clean. We need to understand that this is, again, a tool that we can use, subhanallah, and it's something that we don't use enough of. You see, back in the day, they used to use smelling salts. So if somebody gets, you know, loses consciousness, somebody will come along, you know, they'll do that, and it will help the person to come back, right? And then you see, again, the harmful side is that, you know, unfortunately, you'll see it maybe in the films, you know, that people would put, I think it's ammonia, I don't know what the name is, on the cloths, and then they'll put it over people's mouths, and then they lose consciousness, and subhanallah, they can pass out and even die, a'udhu billah. You know, so we want to use all of these beautiful parts of our body and our senses for healing. So imagine now we are going to combine all of them.